us to talk more about how business is shaping up for them. Remember, the case for a chat here essentially is non-core divestments which are coming through. You have the stakes on Prayagraj project, which is underway, as well as the outlook for the Mundra project, which we will be discussing. Mr. Sinha, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks very much for taking out the time. It's a very, very interesting phase for power companies. How are you looking at the next 6 to 12 months, mapping growth for yourself?
Thank you very much for having me. When we look at Tata Power, we are going through a consolidation phase. We are divesting some of our non-core assets, and we are trying to come up with a roadmap for growth for next 10 years. And the growth, of course, would be in conventional areas, the conventional power generation, but also a huge emphasis is on renewable power and services business. That means transmission, distribution, and some of the other value-added services, including rooftop solar. So, great opportunity to do a huge transformation in which way the power is produced and used. And in Tata Power, we are very excited about saying.
You wouldn't be able to put numbers to this sizable opportunity, quote unquote, would you, when it comes to renewable?
Not at this stage, but we are working out our strategy for next few years, and hopefully in next few months we should be able to come back to you with our numbers. But what we want to tell you is that we are going to be big players. We are possibly going to be the biggest in this space, and we expect, like in every other area, there would be a consolidation, and there would be huge opportunity for companies like us.
You are already in the process of selling some of your non-core assets, like the defense business is already out of your balance sheet. So what is the estimated value of a non-core business which you've sold and which you're planning to sell by 2020?
Well, we've already done 2 transactions, and it's about 4,000 crores of divestment that we have done. We are looking at some more non-core asset sale in next financial year, still under finalization, and still we need to do the valuations of those divestment. So at this stage, I don't have the numbers, but yes, all those non-core areas which we are not able to add value or scale up the business, we would like to move out of that and use this money for putting investment in our core areas and where there is huge growth opportunities that we have.
What are the non-core areas? What would you like to classify as non-core?
Some of the investments that we had, like we divested from Tata Communication and the defense business. We have some of our companies where we have large investments. They are not listed companies, Tata Projects and some of the others are there. And I'm sure at some stage we will be looking at the opportunity to divest from them.
What is the status on the Mundra Power project? I mean, are you looking actively at selling a stake there, and is the resolution in sight?
The stake thing is off the table. But what has happened is that in last few months, the state governments who are the beneficiaries of this power plant have been in active discussion with us and have also constituted a high-powered committee headed by a retired Supreme Court judge. And they are examining the whole thing in totality. They are actively in discussion with all the stakeholders so that a practical and a workable solution comes in. We expect something will come out of it once the interactions are completed and the report is finalized. So, we are very positive that things will happen. There is a genuine desire that this is an excellent asset, produces low cost power, and is for the benefit of all the beneficiaries to come up and collectively come with a solution acceptable to all.
What's the current status when it comes to your Indonesia operations? Because as we understand, the government operations are acting as a hindrance somewhat. It's not really helping you smooth sail when it comes to Indonesia. What's the current status? What would you say are the positives and the hindrances coming out of that project?
As far as the investment in Indonesia is concerned, the coal mine is doing very good.
Okay.
All the coal investments that we have put together, they produce nearly 66 million tons of coal. So it's doing very good. The international prices of coal have gone up. So the coal mines are doing very good. They are producing to full capacity and they are making good profit. The challenge that we got into is that Indonesian government came with a law which says that even if you have a bilateral agreement, there is a minimum price at which you need to sell coal. And because of that, the agreement that we had with CGPL got into a problem, and that's the challenge that we have faced, whereby the cost of coal went up for the CGPL plant, and that's where we have a huge negative that is going on.
So, is there a thought that you want to sell the coal assets in Indonesia and then increase your dependence on local coal sourcing? Because now local coal sourcing is not that challenging. I mean, it was a problem to buy coal from Coal India, but now things are getting sorted out. That's what Coal India is claiming, that come and buy coal from us.
You have two questions. First of all, let me address the imported coal. The location of this plant is in Gujarat, in Mundra, and the cost of coal on a per kg basis, on kilocalorie basis, is much lower of imported coal compared to Indian coal, because the Indian coal has very low calorific value. You need to transport for a large distance, and today the difference is nearly 30 to 40%. So, it does not make economic sense to use domestic coal in this plant. Secondly, technically also it is not possible to use 100% domestic coal. It is designed for certain quality of coal. The boilers will not accept those Indian domestic coal. So, you cannot use 100% domestic coal in this. As far as the power cost of this plant is concerned, this is one of the lowest cost of power to all the beneficiaries. It is within the first 20% in merit order. So, you have 80% of power which you are procuring at a cost higher than this price, and hence it makes a lot of sense for all these beneficiary states to continue to buy power from this plant and schedule it to the maximum.
If I look at this, the power sector in India, I'm afraid we may use, the administration may claim a lot of good things, but the reality is that the sector is in a broken down shape. Old players are struggling, the smaller players have gone belly up. Why is that the Indian power sector, despite government action, is so fragile? And if large players like Tata Power are facing the heat, I wonder where the sector is headed.
Let me put this a little bit in perspective. Today, we have in the country installed capacity of 370 gigawatt. Yes. Nearly 200 gigawatt has been added in last 10 years. And the consequent increase in supply of coal or in the PPAs have not happened. And because of that reason, we have about 40,000 megawatt of stressed assets which is there. I think this is more of a temporary phenomena which is there. All of a sudden, so much capacity addition, no one had envisaged. They expected that the capacity addition would be much lesser than what has been planned. Fortunately, all the plants came up during this last 10-year period. And I think once we are able to sort out some of the issues about availability of coal and about the PPAs, we should be back on track. So, there has been a lot of good things. There have been few bad things. This requires deep pockets, large investments, long-term PPAs, take or pay obligations. These are sectoral challenges which are there. I think over a period of time, we should be able to sort this out. In any case, out of 370 gigawatt, it's only 40 gigawatt. So, 330 is have PPA, and let's look at the positive side of the.
Fair enough. What about acquisitions? Now, your acquisition of the Prayagraj project, what was the rationale behind the same, and are you going to be looking at more such acquisitions?
Well, Prayagraj acquisition has been done through the Resurgent platform, where Tata Power is one of the partners, and there are other investors who are there. We always look at technologies and up-to-date technologies and state-of-the-art technology. Fortunately, Prayagraj has supercritical equipments, and that's one of the important criteria. It also has a long-term PPA for 90% of the quantity. It has the fuel supply agreement. And importantly is that the tariff of this plant is very low. So, in sum and substance, I'll tell you that wherever we feel that the projects have all the things tied up, are competitive and can sustain in the long run, those are the type of projects that we are looking. And if tomorrow some more opportunities like that come, we'll definitely use the Resurgent platform to bid for more projects.
But that would also include some of the stressed assets, some of the NCLT cases?
Absolutely right. We'll definitely look. But then they need to meet these criteria. So, these are certain basic minimum requirements. and if they meet those requirements, we'll definitely be looking at
Are
it.
you already looking at any of the cases?
Yeah, we are in the process of submitting some bids, and I'm sure in next few days, once the bidding process gets completed.
Does it make sense for you to chip in right now? Because Tata Steel has been very aggressive when they bought Bhushan assets, but that's because the cycle is favorable. The challenge with the power sector is that it's a regulated sector. And in a regulated sector, even if demand comes back, because your PPAs are tied up 60–70%, the upside may not be large. There's surplus capacity, and if you bid for more capacity, what is the gain for you?
So the gain is that if I am competitive, if I am in the merit order, then I will always be able to schedule my power. So if I have additional capacity available with me, I have the coal linkage, the plant is in good shape, then I'll be able to produce more and sell it both in the merchant market as well as through medium term and short term arrangement. So we definitely feel that those assets which we are today getting at a very reduced value are the ones that we should look at, provided they meet some of these requirements that we are looking at.
Yeah, and debt will be primarily one among those, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What about the defense business? We understand that you're looking at some consolidation of defense assets across the Tata Group as well. Where are things standing as of now?
As you would be aware, that Tata Power had a division which used to look after defense business. As a part of consolidation within the group, because there were different pockets of excellence within the various companies, it was decided that we'll bring all the defense business into one single cluster, and we have, because of that reason, Tata Power has divested that defense business, and now it's consolidated, and it should do very good because of the great opportunity and Make in India initiative of the government.
You know, we've shamelessly extended our appointment with you, but I'll just ask you two quick questions. The trend in the power sector has been that prices have gone higher. Is this largely because of temporary demand supply disruption or coal shortage?
Well, it is both. Because of the coal shortage, there is a demand supply gap. The supply is much less than what is the demand. And especially when you see we are sitting today in September, last 4 months, this is the summer months, this is also the month where you have the paddy plantation. So there is a huge demand right across the country, and because of the flooding of coal mines and less supply of coal that has taken place, people have not been able to meet the total requirement of power, and that's why the cost has gone up. But again, if you look at it on a 12-month cycle, you would find that it more or less balances out, and we are normally in good shape right through the year.
Okay, so let me take a conversation forward. What Chandra seems to be speaking of various forums. He said the minute I took over as the chairman of Tata Sons, I had to fix immediate problems, I had to fix difficult problems, and I have to fix easy problems. So the difficult problem I would imagine was Mundra, which has been fixed. But what about difficult and easy problems which you will fix now?
Well, we still have the Mundra problem. It's not still fully sorted out. We are waiting for the report. We expect that it will be fair and equitable to all the stakeholders, and it will get past the muster with all the beneficiary states. So we expect the difficult problems to get sorted out, because we feel that that's the fair thing to do. We also are consolidating, we are also looking at growth. So I think all these things keeps on happening simultaneously. We have more than 20 separate we have actually some 90 companies, but 20 separate businesses that we are into. All of them are doing
business in Tata Power.
Yeah.
Why didn't know this?
So the renewable, coal, so you trading. So we are the largest integrated power company, and if you look at all of them are doing very well in their own way. They are the benchmark in terms of output and their productivity. So we need to keep on going on this, and we also need to consolidate and grow. So I think these are not only immediate but also future problems and future challenges that we have, and we need to continue to work and keep our head down and produce results.
So are you happy? Are you excited? Are you cautiously optimistic? Give me one word answer.
Well, no, I would say that I'm optimistic,
Okay.
and that's what we believe in. That's the way to go forward.
Okay, great speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today in our
Thank you.
studios.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.